Just a quick intro. Thank you, Hadid, for introducing me. My name is Mohammed Ashur. I'm the co-founder of Springring. And I just wanted to welcome everyone. I think everyone here is a teacher. So I want to thank you for being here and thank you for all you've been doing for the past year and a half. I know it's been tough, and we're basically trying to help you as much as possible in everything that you've been doing for the children. Just a quick note as well. So I just wanted to kind of reiterate that this is going to be basically focused on how teachers use our platform. The platform itself helps school administrators. It helps students, parents, and teachers as well. So all of them are connected on one platform. But today we wanted to basically focus on the teacher role. So as soon as we start, I'll take you through a full kind of walkthrough of all the features on the platform for teachers. And you might know as well that you have both a mobile application and a web access. So today we'll be focusing on the web, but it's pretty much the same. So everything that you do on the web, you can also do on your mobile app. I'm just gonna share my screen. Can you please just confirm on the chat area that you can see my screen clearly, just so that we can start straight away. Yeah. So I'm pretty sure all of you have received your login accesses through your school. So your login would be the URL, as you can see here, or at the top. You might not see it properly, but it's basically your school name.myspringring.com. And then I'll just ask you for your email and password, and you can just log in. This would be the screen that you enter as soon as you log in to your teacher account. So to start off with, I'll just take you through the navigations and all the things that we have. And then we'll walk you through the functionalities. The first area, of course, is your personal area. These things are basically all the updates. So this section will include all the posts that either have been posted by other teachers that you have given you access to their boards, or posts posted by your school, or anything else that you're involved in. So it's a one kind of stop shop for everything that you need to know about and everything that's new. So everything that you read eventually gets removed from this. So it just kind of keeps it clean and tidy for you as well. The direct posts are anything that you've sent to individual users. So if you've sent something to individual parents or students, will appear here so that you can monitor the activity and so on. And we'll take you through this as well. The second section is your classes. So this will contain two types of class boards. One class board that you create or you are a teacher of. So for example, if I go to grade 5 English here, you can see that there's an icon that says, it's like a pen icon. It means that I have access to post on this board. If there is a class board that you've only been given view access, you will not see this pen on the side, which means you can view all the posts on this board, but you're not allowed to contribute to it, which is something that you can do when you create your classes, which I'll take you through in a bit. So these are the classes, and these were meant to be at an individual class level. School boards, on the other hand, are any board that's created by your school administrator. And this could be anything from a whole school board, as you can see here. So this is a board that basically all the users, all the parents, all the students, and all the teachers have access to. And these are posts for all of them. Or it could be, for example, only the middle school. So only people in the middle school will have access to this. Elementary. Or they could be creating specific boards for, let's say, clubs, after school activities, We've seen some school create school boards for trips that they do. Hopefully, we can all get back to going on trips. But again, this is something that we've seen as well. And then at the very bottom, when you go to the others section, you will have three areas. One is the calendar, which includes not only your events, but it also includes all the events that the school also posts. So we'll take you also through all the different types in a minute. Then, of course, the archived boards, which is something that you can do. So let's say, for example, you've created a class and after a period of time, you don't need to use it anymore. One thing that we provide you with is the ability to archive that class board and then get access to it later on to refer back to posts that you've done and so on and so forth. And the latest section is the settings. Now, what I'll do is now to consider that all of you are, for example, new teachers that just have been invited. The first thing that we always suggest is for you to go to your settings. The first area in your settings is just your first name and last name and email. Usually these things have been already added by your administrator when you got your invitation, but if you need to edit any of it, you can. You can also update your picture. So for example, here I can just select any picture I want and add it here from my files. As soon as that's done, you can click save and your profile is saved as that. This picture will be shown to all the parents and anyone who receives a post from you. So your picture will appear there for them as well. There's an area to change your password. This is something that you can do at any time. There's also in the login screen the ability to reset your password if, let's say, you've forgotten your password, and that's something you can do. One other important part is the time zone. Because we are a global platform, so anyone anywhere in the world can use this. And in addition, you might have parents that are traveling in different time zones or anything and receive information from you. Just to make sure that all these times that appear for them are correct, setting the time zone is here. You can definitely set it automatically, meaning it'll either use your administrator's time zone or it'll use your computer time zone. So that's something else you can have. But most importantly, and this is something that we're very proud to also give you access to, is the chat functionality. Now, there are two levels of enabling chat. One is at a school level. So your school might decide that they don't want to offer parents chat ability with teachers. So that's one level. If that's the case, then you won't be able to enable the chat. Otherwise, if you already, your school, has already given you chat capability, you will be able also to disable it and enable it at any time. So let's say, for example, there's the Easter break coming up and you want to disable the chat during this period, you can disable that. If you want to bring it back on, but you don't want to receive any alerts from parents on weekends, you can decide to do that. So on Friday and Saturday, you're unavailable, but you can select Sunday from 10 to 11:30, I'm available. On Tuesday, I'm available all day. So let's say 9 to 2:30. On Wednesday, this time. On Thursday, I want to finish my time earlier. So let's say I only have chat, or I will receive notifications about chat during this period. And you can just save the hours. What will happen is once parents send you chat messages, you will still receive them in your chat, but you won't be alerted. So they won't bother you, neither on your app nor on the web. But what will happen is parents will receive an automatic reply from the system saying that you're contacting the teacher outside their office hours. They will get back to you as soon as they can. So this is just a way to also manage expectations with parents. So I highly advise everyone, and if you have your chat enabled by your school administrator, to go through this section and set up your office hours as you wish. So once you've done with your settings and you're ready to kind of start working on your classes, you will either find that your classes have been created for you and you've been added as a teacher, or the first step would be to go and create your classes. So let's say, for example, I am a grade 2 teacher, okay, and let's say I teach 2B, then I can say just a description. This area is optional. So this class board is for 2B. And then I can set the teacher. So if you're creating this on behalf of someone else, you'll be able to set a teacher. If you're creating it for yourself, then you can select yourself from the list of teachers. So as soon as you start typing your name, it should start filtering and you can select the teacher here. So it's only basically one teacher that you can set for each class, but then you can also add editors. And these are people that you want to give access to post on this board. So it could be your teaching assistant, it could be the head of your, let's say, grade 2 classes, it could be anyone that you wish. So let's say you want to give your principal access to post here. So they can be added, and your teaching assistant. So we can say, this is your teaching assistant, and you can add them here. Now, then what you do is you can say, well, actually, I want only 2B to be part of this. Now, if 2B has been already created as a group, you don't need to do anything apart from just selecting that group. And you select the group. Now, of course, this is just a demo, so this is only grade 2, but basically it tells you that you have 1 staff in this group, you have 5 teachers already in the group, and 0 students. Now, I can add more than 1 group. So if I want to start adding, let's say, the sports group, and I want to add also the swimming group, and all these groups, so all the students and parents within these groups will have access. And then you can click next. You'll then be able to also start adding people individually as viewers, right? So now currently this is the teacher. These are the groups that have access. But then I also want to add a couple more as viewers. So I want this teacher to be a viewer, this student, and this student. And you can see them here. You can say filter, so it makes it easier for you to search through the list, because I'm sure you'll have a lot. So either search or filter through here. And you can also filter by group. So if I want to see only the users in nursery, but I don't want to select the whole of nursery, I can come here and say, add this student as well. Now, as soon as you click submit here, you'll see that your grade 2B has been created. You'll have access to your students here. So from the groups, these students were added. You added these individually. These are the groups that are available. You can add students if you've missed anyone at any time by just clicking add students, and you come back to this. Or you can start just going through them. So you can see, for example, information. So let's say I want to see information about this student here, and you get to access the name of the student. These pictures will be updated by parents as well, so it will be richer in terms of also seeing pictures of your students, or even the parents as well. And you can see both parents and what their status is. This accepted means that they've accepted the invitation and they are on Springring. So you can know that they are receiving your messages. This is the second parent, and it shows here that they've also accepted. And they also have access to all these boards and these groups and so on. This is just general information, so you can get to know more. Hopefully, we'll be adding a lot more features in this section in the future, so just keep an eye on that. In terms of teachers as well, so who from the teachers has access, who are the editors, who's the teacher of this class, and who has view access to this board. And as well, here you can add more teachers, either as editors or as viewers, and you can enter their name. So if I've missed, you've had a new teacher come on board and you want to add them, I can just select this as a viewer, confirm an add, and it'll be updated. So if you go back to your teachers, you have the new teacher added here. So this is pretty much the creation of the classes. What we'll do is we'll show you one that's basically filled out. All the school boards have the same way and same structure. We want to kind of create a very unified view of this. So if we go now into the different types of posts that you can create, because this particular process only happens once, which is the creation of your classes at the beginning of the year or maybe mid-year, if you will. Going forward, it's basically just seeing, reading, and viewing all your posts. There are many different types. So you either have a post here with an attachment, and you can add as many attachments as you like. This is how the post will look, so you know when it was posted, you know the teacher that posted this, you know who it's been posted to, so only parents view this, not the students. And then you can click on the attachment or attachments to view, and you can see also where else has this been posted, on which other boards. So here, this particular post has been posted to activities, elementary school, arts and crafts, and whole school. Now, if you're the creator of this, you'll also have the ability to delete this post, and this will delete it from all the users that have received it. So that's one type. There's a pure text type, so you can just add text. There's another one, which is a picture or album. So these are media. So as you can see here, these are the pictures, and I can easily scroll through them. Parents will be able to easily also scroll through these pictures, save them, and so on. And this is very useful, especially at younger grades, where you'll have a lot of parents, I assume. I have small children, and just seeing their pictures and how they interact in class is usually useful. So you have that. There is a type here, which is an event. Now, these events appear in a different format, so I can see what the title of the event is, when is it happening, and it could be a one-day event or it could be a multiple-day event. So here we know that this is happening from the 4th to the 8th of April. And then, of course, all the details. Now, the good thing about this is that this feeds automatically into, as we mentioned earlier, your calendar. So if I go to my calendar, the event we just saw is this one here. So it feeds directly into my calendar. If I delete it, it'll get deleted from here. And it also appears to all the parents that have access to the board you posted it on, which means as a parent, I don't need to manage my own calendar. Everything that's posted on Springring as an event will also feed into my Springring calendar, and I can refer to it at any given time, which is also very useful for parents, just to kind of get reminded of events and get access to all the events that are posted, whether by the school or by any of their kids' teachers. So that's the different types. We have, of course, a lot of other ones like links. And if it's a video link, so let's say this one is from Vimeo, or you have another one from Loom here. This is a Loom link. Parents and yourself will just need to click play. You won't get taken to another screen or another tab. It'll play directly inside. Or you can add a link as well, and it'll appear as a nice, rich card for the website. So at least I have a preview as a parent and yourself as well. A YouTube video, is there. You can either have multiple day events, you have one day event, and so on. And all these things, of course, are part of what you can create. What I'll do now is, as you can see, there are a lot, whether this is an album, see each number of pictures appears in different ways, just to also make it very nicely distributed and visually appealing as well for parents and for yourself. So this is very quickly the types of posts. There are a lot of things you can do as well in terms of the creation of it. So moving on to just the structure of Springring, how we organize everything, and how we give access to different things on the platform. I'm going to move very quickly now to the creation of different posts. At the moment, we have 3 different post types. So when you click on create new post from anywhere on the platform, so even if I move to all updates, I have the create post. I can move to grade 2 and I have create post. From anywhere on the platform and from your mobile application as well, you can just click on create new post. The new post here starts in 2 steps. So either you want to post to a board or you want to post to a specific student. So let's say, for example, I want to get in touch with the parents of 2 students of mine. I can start typing in the student name and click and select. Then I can go, well, I need to also get in touch with the parents of this other student. So these 2 students, and I need to send their parents something. You can either select to send it to only the parents, or you can select to send it to students or students only. So let's say, for example, I want to send it to only the parents here, and I can click next, and this is where you can just create your post. So let's say attendance, for example, and I can come here. As you can see here, you have a rich text ability. So attendance in, let's say 2B. So this is to bring to your attention that your child has not attended class today. So that's one way of doing it. So this is just an example. I can put this in either bold or make it a header, for example, or I can create lists and so on. And then I can put in an attachment. And if you want, you can mark it as an alert. Now, what does an alert mean? An alert is basically, regardless of the post or when it was posted, because parents have the ability to turn off notifications so that they don't receive too many notifications from the school. But if you mark it as an alert, it means it's important. And then even if the parent has turned off the notifications in Springring, it will still push the notification to them. So this is just to ensure that this goes through. Now, as soon as you create the post, what happens is, as you can see, it'll appear in your direct posts. These are posts that are sent specifically to parents. You can see who it's been sent to. So these 2 students, and you can see the content of it. Now, this, as you can see here as well, has a different kind of style. It's clearly marked as an alert, and you can see it the same way. The good thing about Springring here is that you see the post the same way as the parent sees it, which makes it very easier for you to also create the post, make sure that you're conveying the right information in the right way. Sorry. So this is one type. And as I said earlier, you can, within the same post type, so if I want to post it to grade 2B, as I mentioned earlier, then send it to parents and students. And I can also add attachments as well. So if I want to go here and say I want to attach this picture, for example, and then I say our new crest and look, and then I get this other option when I post to boards. Now, this other option means pinning something to the top. If you want something, you have a very important message, let's say a deadline that you need parents, for example, feedback on something, you want them to always be aware of something until a certain time. Or we've seen teachers use this for posting, for example, the weekly curriculum or the weekly plan or the monthly plan, for example. So they can select, I want this to be pinned to the top of my board until, let's say, end of the month at this time. So what will happen is, as soon as you create this post, the picture gets uploaded, and that's why you saw the progress. When I go to all updates, of course, because you posted it, it doesn't appear here. But if you go to grade 2B, you can see this is another style. So this is a picture. You'll see it's pinned, and it shows you it's pinned until when. So even if you create another post, so I'll go here and say link. Let me create a link for you now. So again, I'm posting it to 2B, to both students and parents. And let's say this is Springring website. I don't need to add any content here, but I can go and say, sorry, I'm just gonna take an existing link. I add it here, and I can mark it as an alert or not, and then create the post. So as I create the post now, what would happen is, so have a look again. So this didn't post here, I think because I put in the wrong link. So let me copy this again. And next. Sorry, just had to refresh for a second. So Springring website. Just a quick reminder while we do this, if you have any questions for me and you would like to, about anything, I'm going to be happy to answer them all in a minute as soon as we finish this. So as you can see, I did add something new, which is our website, and it appears as a card. But since this has been pinned to the top, the new post comes under it. Now, what will happen is as soon as the pinned period ends, this post will not appear here, and it will go automatically to where it was supposed to be in chronological order. So this is also the next type of post that you can create. The last type, and we'll just have that, and then we can move on to the last bit of our presentation here today. So let's say I want to create here an event for students. So let's say parent consultation nights or night, location in class 2B. This is, you can either select it to be an all-day event. So let's say a holiday, for example, or something like that. or something that you're doing all day. Or you can say, no, this actually starts next week on the 30th. It ends on the same day from, let's say, 3:30 to, let's say, 5:30. Now, as soon as you do this and you go create post, again, as you notice here, it comes on top of the one I created earlier, but below the pinned one, and it shows as a card. Now, as soon as I create this, if I go to my calendar, you can see the parent consultation here. So it's clearly marked from this time to this time. This is the location, and so on. The location can be a link as well. So if you're doing virtual events, you can just add the link in for, let's say, the Google Meet or the Zoom link or any other tool you use in the location, and it'll appear there for parents to also be able to just simply click on it and attend whenever they like. So this is pretty much it. This is how we've made it as much as we can easy for you. Just another note on the calendar section before I forget as well. You can either search or you can go to your agenda view here. So the good thing is about the agenda, you can go month by month and see what's happening. So next week, this is happening, and so on. So all these things are appearing here. You can have an all-day event on April 4th, the half-term holiday, and then a science fair on this day. And as you go along, of course, you can see all the events in your calendar. So you have two views for that. That's in a nutshell how you can, and we've seen very creative ways of how people use all these functionality. We've kept it as much as we can as open and flexible as possible. So we've seen people deliver lessons here because you can post videos, especially using your mobile app. You can actually take a video and upload it straight away. So that's another thing you can do. And we've seen some of the schools use it even for internal communication. So when you create a class, you don't need to add, you can add only groups of teachers. So without using the parents or the students in it. And that becomes something that teachers will be able to communicate through or send resources or have it as a board that they can refer to whenever, like sharing best practices or anything like that. So that's when it comes to boards and calendars. The last thing you'll have is, of course, your chat. Now, provided that your chat is enabled, as soon as you click on your chat, you'll have these three areas. All the chats that have been open. So if I go to this one, because I've opened it before, it comes here. They're all written in the names of your students. So these are, you'll only see the students, of course, of your classes. So any of the classes that I teach, all the students will appear here. I can search for a certain conversation. So for example, if I start typing this, and I had someone in that name, of course, it will filter through. Or I can start a new conversation. Now, as soon as I click on this icon here, I want to send a conversation to the parents of Jane here. I just click on her, and then Jane comes up as a new conversation that I started, and I can start typing to her parents. So I can say, hello, I hope you're well. The good thing about the chat is that you can always assume that both parents are part of this chat. So both parents are going to be in it. The message will go to both of them. They don't have your phone number or your personal information. So the chat is very much on Springring. Any of the parents will be able to reply, and the other parent will also see that as well. If you have a need to call the parent or email them, you'll have access to them here. So I can click on this. If they've added their phone number, you'll see an icon with the phone number on the side. So let me check when it comes to phone numbers. Yeah, these two have not added it as well. But as you can see, just flipping between conversations is easy. When you're done with it, simply close your chat drawer and it's gone and you're ready to resume your work. As soon as you get messages, if you have your Chrome enabled notifications or your web browser, any browser, you'll either see them pop up or you'll see a small dot here for new conversations that come in. So you can come in and see the conversations here. That's very much all the things you can do. It's very seamless. Of course, this is only focused on the teacher side of things. The parents have a lot more features on their mobile apps, and we're soon going to be launching a web version for parents as well, which is going to be making it also easier for them, especially when it comes to attachments and so on, and to save things. And when it comes to the conversation with the teachers, the administrators, of course, have a lot more as well that they can do, and they can do it. And all that flows seamlessly between all the users on the platform. You can always, of course, refer to our help and support section here, which has walkthroughs step-by-step about how to perform all these things and all the different functionalities within Springring. I think this would be, I don't want to bore you with a lot of things. This is pretty much what we have done today. I will be happy now to take on questions. Hopefully I can answer as many as I can. I can reshare the screen as well to obviously help you through things. I'll leave it up to Hadil to point out any questions that we received.
All right, so let's get to it. Rihanna asked if you can delete any of the class boards that you've created. For example, the class that you just created, which is 2B. Is it possible to delete it, and how to delete it?
Of course. So let me share this again. So I hope now you can see it. Hadil, if you could confirm that you can see my screen?
Yes.
Yes. So in terms of going to a board, so now I am in this board. What I can do is edit class. Okay, so I didn't actually show you this earlier, but there's the edit class section here. In terms of deleting, it's definitely something that the administrator can do, because I think here we have posts and so on. There's the ability to archive these things. So when it comes to deleting a class, if you have things that are posted, you have different teachers and users also accessing this, I would say the best way, and especially because of the parents' involvement in this, the best way is always to refer to the administrator. We're looking into adding a delete section so you can handle your own deletion of this, which I think will be coming up soon. We're always happy to look into new features that you request. But for the moment, it can be easily done from the admin side. Now, you won't have access to this. Your school administrator usually will. But they can manage the boards easily. If I come to classes, I can see the 2B, and there is an archive section here. So from the administrator, they can easily archive them. We might be adding this as well on the side of the teacher. It's just that we need to also manage the accesses and so on. But we've taken note of that. We've received this request before, and we're going to be happy to look into the best way to implement this without affecting other users.
All right. So the next question is whether Springring can do handouts or permission slips or something similar to that. Can teachers hand out permission
Yes, of
slips?
course. Actually, that's a good question. And currently, what we have seen schools do a lot is use Google Forms as links. So what they do is they create a new post as a link, and then, so let me just select one of them. And then when they go next, they take the Google form and add it here. The nice thing about that, what will happen is it will appear as a nice card on Springring. You click on it. You don't need to open a new tab or anything else.
Yeah.
It'll open within Springring and you can fill it out. What we will, though, soon, and hopefully by beginning of the next academic year, we're going to be creating a new post type called authorization post. And this we've delayed for a bit because of the coronavirus situation. But hopefully, when things get back to normal and things, kids are able to go back on trips and so on, you will be able to send authorization posts. So it'll be another post type. You'll be able to click on it, select what authorization you want to request from parents, and parents will be able to either approve or reject, and you will be able to see all that on your end in the post. So as soon as that's out, just keep an eye on Springring. My team will also be communicating with all existing teachers, of course, whenever new features come out. So just keep an eye out for that.
All right. One of the attendees is asking for you to show the chat corner again, like how the chat
Sure.
feature works.
Sure thing. So in terms of the chat, by the way, they appear almost in similar places, whether it's on the mobile app or on the web. So it's the top right corner, as usual. It's always here. So once you click on the chat, you get this drawer. As soon as you open it, of course, you'll see all your recent conversations. Just like, for example, WhatsApp, if you will. It's always the conversations that are here. If you receive a message from a parent of these students. So these are the names of the students, not the parents. So if I receive, for example, a message from Lujane's parents, I will see a mark here that says 1, 2, 3, as many messages as I did receive. If I click on the conversation, I can see the history of the conversation, of course. This part is only concerning Lujane Sadaq's parents, and I can see here the details of those parents. So this is the name of the two parents. And if you need to access their email, this is the email. So you have these two as well. So this part is obviously the conversation. If you want to start a new conversation with another parent, you can simply click on this icon at the top right corner of this drawer. It'll open now another section where you can search for the student. So let's say I want to speak to Adam's parents, and this Adam, for example. What will happen is as soon as I click on it, it'll create a new conversation and start that here. So I have Adam here, who's part of these boards. I can have access to the parents. This is actually my name and my son's name. Now, here I can just go and say, hi there. Okay, just reminding you of Adam's homework from yesterday. So instead of sending a direct post, maybe another way of doing that is here, especially if you need it to be a conversation with a parent. If you're asking them a question or something like that, this would be a good place to go. If you're just bringing something to a parent's attention, but there is no kind of need for it to be a conversation, of course, you can always just go to create post, for example, and say, I just want to send it to one user, which is Adam's parents, and say, for example, homework due. Adam hasn't brought in his homework, and maybe you want to attach the homework as well again, so that the parent is aware of this. So if I want to go to something here just to show you the different types of attachments as well that you can have. So just want to put in something that's, there we go. I can click on it. Now you see that this is a PDF with the name of the PDF. So let's assume that's a, so here you can see the loading, of course, just going through this again very quickly. And then as soon as it's done, it's posted. If I go to my direct posts, I can see that this has been posted with the attachment. Now, of course, you can use this, of course, if you don't need it to be a conversation with the parent. If you need to have a conversation with the parent, or you want to allow the parent to also respond to things, you can always use the chat on this side. So it's the top right corner, again, creating the new conversation, or just picking up where you left off on a previous conversation, for example, and just going on with it. I hope I answered that question sufficiently.
Contributors. You mentioned something about students, and then it showed contributors and teachers. So who are contributors?
Sure. Contributors are basically any user, and by users here we mean teachers. So any school staff, if you will, because what we don't allow is for parents to post on boards or students to post on boards and so on. We basically want to minimize the mess eventually that could happen. So when you go to a new class, or instead of creating a new class, if I go to an existing one and go to the teachers section here in the top. So if I want to see the posts, it's here. If I want to see the students, and then I can see the teachers. You have three types. So a class teacher here is the one who owns this class or runs it. The editors are pretty much the contributors here. So those are the people that I can actually post. So if I go to add teacher, then it's two parts, either an editor / contributor. And as you can see, these teachers contributors as, right? So I can either add them as viewers or editors. But in all cases, I can only add here people that are marked as teachers by the school, because the school can also add users or designate users as only viewers, right? So they would not be able to run classes or so on. Teachers, on the other hand, can create new classes and can also add and manage the users that are in this section. So if I want to add someone who can only view, so I have a teacher that only should view these posts, but they shouldn't be able to post anything, I can add them. Or no, this is my TA, for example, and I want them to be able to also contribute in this class. Then I can add them as editors here. So if you go back to your teachers, as soon as you open it, you can see I've added the new editor, whereas the rest are just viewers.
Yeah, it makes sense now.
I
So
hope I
teachers,
answered that.
assistants, and substitute teachers can be contributors, basically. Yeah. All right. We have another question.
Of course.
Can we send event invitations to specific parents instead of all parents?
Of course, all the events here. So if I go back to creating a new post, so if I go to events, as you notice, every type of event starts with this section where you can only post, sorry, you can select, sorry, to either post to a board, or you can select, I want to post to only users. So if I say, well, I want to invite Adam's parents to a consultation session. So I select post to users here, and I say next, consultation session for Adam, and I can say in my class, so class 2B, on Sunday at 8 until 8:30. Then I can type something here and create post. Now this, of course, will be a direct post here, which is basically in your direct posts. And as you can see, it's a consultation session for Adam. And if you go here, it also gets added to your calendar as well. So you can see that this was a consultation for Adam.
Okay. Another question is, how can I add students to an existing class?
Pretty much, again, everything that you do. So I just need to mention again that you can only do that for classes that you are marked as a teacher of. So let's say you've created this class, which we've done earlier, or you've been assigned to be a teacher of this class by your administrator when they created the class board. So it can happen in either way. You can just come here to the students section. So let's say you can see that one of the students is missing. There's a plus student here in the top right corner. And straight away, all you need to do is start searching. So let's say Harry, and I can select Harry here, and either one student or multiple students as well. So let's say I remove my search and I want to start filtering. So instead of searching through the whole database of students in the school, I just want to see, I can filter. So no one in this one. So let's say nursery. There's one. I think we've already added this one. There we go. And I can select another student. So you'll see all the students that you're adding one by one here. When you're satisfied with the list, then you just click submit. And once that's done, of course, these students will get added. As you can see here, I have these two students added straight away. One other thing I wanted to also mention is, let's say, for example, you're in the class board, you can go to the list of students and then say, well, actually, I want to start a conversation with the student's parents. You also have a chat functionality from here. So you click on it and it'll open a new chat straight away with the new parent, right? So again, you can start your conversation.
All right, so Samar, the same teacher that has asked this question, is mentioning that the student section does not appear in his existing class. So what does he do then?
If it's usually it appears because if you notice there are two different types of views. One is for a school board. So let's say, for example, if I go to middle school, because these tend to have a lot of students in them, there is no section that says students here or teachers, because these are usually created by the school administrator, and you've probably been assigned as a user or editor of this or a viewer. So you want to make sure that you go to the classes section. So if it's in the classes, then the students and teachers section appear, because these tend to be at a class level, smaller population of students, and you can definitely list them all. here. If you're facing trouble with a certain one that you think is a glitch or a bug that you found, then we're definitely happy to look into it, and you can message us. One thing that could happen, and I'm just thinking about that now, is if I go to, let's say, let me create something very quickly. And I go editors and I add someone. I don't add any boards. I don't add anyone here, and I click submit. So even that, you'll have the student section, but there is no students in it. Now, if you're in a class, I can see, I think in the chat, Summer is mentioning I'm in a class, but
Yeah.
it doesn't appear. If you could take a screenshot and send it to us at any time, we'll be very happy to help. Can you share, Hadil, our support email as well?
Yes, we'll do that.
In the chat, if you can just keep that email, we'll be very happy to help. If you just send us a screenshot of what you can see, and we can definitely, we'll get someone from our team to get in touch with you and work it out.
All right. Last question. It's more of a comment. So Karen is asking, she tried to post a picture through image icon with the JPEG extension using a laptop, but she noticed that all the JPEG files cannot attach through using the mobile. So she wants to know the reason why it cannot be attached through the laptop.
Okay, let me actually look into that. It could well be a bug that we can look into, and if not, we'll look into that now. I am now going to the attachment section. So basically, because there are certain extensions that we allow to be added, especially when you select the image icon. Now, in the attachment part, of course, it should be most extensions. So we allow PDFs, Excel sheets, docs here. So this is an Excel one, presentations, and the like. So all of these are allowed. So you want to click on the image one. I'm just going to go very quickly through mine to see if I have a JPEG one that's disabled. Because what happens is we disable the ones, yes. So let's say it was disabled, so I did notice that it probably is. So if I open it here, it does add. So if you want to try to click on it, I think some of them are not recognizing JPEG as JPG as well. But when I clicked on it, of course, it adds. Let me try to actually create the post. So I need a title. Create the post here. So it is actually adding it. And as you can see, it's added. But again, if you face any troubles, again, so it was disabled, but when I click on it, it did go through. But we can definitely look into that. I can see you've shared a screenshot of this as a recording, I guess. But we'll be very happy to look into that. Hadil, if you can also take note of this.
Yes, we'll do.
And please get in touch with Summer after that to solve any issues. Or with Karen, sorry.
Oh, will do. So yes. So I'll be sharing the support email that anyone with any questions or clarifications, yes. Thank you, Ahmed Abdallah. And I think that concludes our webinar for today. Thank you everyone for attending this webinar, and thank you for your questions and feedback. We'll definitely look into that and get back to you, Karen. And thank you, Hamid Ashur, for hosting this webinar. And I hope everyone found this very useful.
Thank you very much, Hadil, and everyone here for attending. We wanted to take the opportunity of an hour, but we're definitely available after that. If you need any help with anything, please let us know. And we're going to be very happy to also receive your feedback. So if you think that certain features should be added, if you want something to be, let's say, developed further on the platform, or you wish that this could work in a different way, we're very happy to receive that. And we can't make any promises, of course, because we receive a lot of feedback from a lot of people and it's one platform. But we definitely take everything into consideration.
All right. Thank you, everyone. And looking forward to your email, Samar. And goodbye, everyone.